This video is brought to you by the Disc Golf Nerd Patreon support team. Go to patreon.com/discgolfnerd. What's up, guys? I'm the Disc Golf Nerd, and I'm back with more disc golf tips for beginners. Now, a lot of focus on discs on my channel, on a lot of different channels here on YouTube. A lot of focus on the discs, disc reviews in the bags, all that kind of stuff, product demos, etc. I make plenty of that content and will continue to do so going forward. But I thought it might be kind of fun and informative for you guys to go over some of the other stuff that you want to have with you out there on the course. So let's get into the bag I've been carrying. I'll show you some of the stuff that's in there, and then I'll show you some of the other gear. Some of this I consider to be completely essential. Some of it's just nice to have, and it's going to depend on your perspective. Let's get into it. So we're not going to talk about the discs or the bags here. You can find plenty of different bag reviews and different things like that on YouTube. Few on my channel, plenty others out there on the internet. So I'm not going to go into that stuff now. This is just about the other gear that's in the bag and all the other stuff that you might want to wear and have with you. So in this trooper bag, I keep a few things. I keep a handkerchief in here. Viewers of the channel know my nose is terrible. I have extremely limited airflow through my nose, so that's why I sound stuffed up all the time, and I often am pretty stuffed up, so I like to have a hanky with me just to keep that as clear as possible. I also keep a mini with me. This is my Jerry Murusco. Tell you what, custom Dimax, definitely recommend. These custom Dimaxes are like $8.99 or something. You can send any picture, you know, your picture of your dog or you and your friend, anything you want, and have it printed on a mini. You can get full-size discs as well, but these work out really well for the price. Make a great gift item for your disc golf buddies or the disc golfer in your family, and I love to have one of these with me. So this is the one I have in this bag right now. You only really need a mini if you go out of bounds and you're coming back in to establish a lie. You can't use a disc for that, so you have to have a mini for sanctioned tournaments. If you're just playing casually, you can just kind of take your meter in, keep your foot in that spot, putt. You can put a disc down. You know, if you're playing casually, nobody really cares, but I like to have a mini just in case, and especially if I'm playing a tournament or something like that. On the rare occasion I do that. Also, scorekeeping. It's definitely a good idea to be able to keep score. This is a reusable scorecard from Discraft. You can erase this with a pencil, right back onto it again. I've kept score for hundreds of rounds probably with this thing, and it works out really well. You can obviously use like a UDisc or a scoring app as well, but I like to just have this regular one in my pocket. It works out really well. If I'm going to play a game and take the time to do so, I want to play it according to the rules, and with that in mind, I keep a PGA rulebook in my bag. Now, I've never, I don't believe, ever referenced this during a round, because for the most part, I understand the rules. But it's in there in case any kind of a situation arises that we're not exactly sure how to proceed. You can look it up, have no doubt, and just be able to play it correctly. From there, I also keep, I also keep a small first aid kit in my bag. In here is some Benadryl, just in case somebody has an allergic reaction in an emergency situation. That could be helpful. Also, I keep, you know, maybe some ibuprofen in there, just in case I have a little ache or pain or headache or something out during a round. But mostly it's things like Band-Aids, tweezers, that sort of stuff. Tweezers, definitely recommended to have those in your bag. You can get like a little thorn or a splinter or something out there on the course. It could be very distracting or disruptive to your throw, depending on if it's on your throwing hand and stuff. So definitely nice to have tweezers to get that stuff out. Of course, if you're going to play a tournament that has a paper scorecard, or you're going to use a reusable one like the one I showed you, you need to have a pencil. I use a real number 2 pencil that's just shortened down. I don't like the little super stubby ones. Regular pencil is fine for me. And then I also have a Sharpie with me to mark any discs that need to be marked. If you want to put your phone number on there, whatever the case may be. To play in a PDGA event, all your discs need to be marked in some way, some kind of distinguishing mark so you can tell for sure that's your disc in any kind of a situation. Also, obviously, most casual players, you want to put your name and number on the disc in case you lose it. Hopefully, the person finds it. They'll give you a call. If you're new to the game, think about it this way. You know, if you find a disc, it has a name on there, it has a number on there. You know, if you're putting your name and number on your discs that you're out there throwing, that's because you're hoping someone will find that disc and call that number to give it back to you. So if you find a disc that has a name and number on it, you should call and give it back to that person. You can only really affect change treating other people the way you want to be treated, and hopefully they will do the same back to you. That's really the only thing you can control. So I write my name and number on my discs, and that's because I want people to return them if they find them. So if I find a disc and there's a number on there, I will always call and try to make the return. Also, I keep an emergency whistle in my bag. I play some rugged courses. I play solo rounds sometimes. The propensity for me to have a mechanical injury that will prevent me from walking out of the course is pretty high. I'm a big dude. I transfer a lot of weight onto that lead foot to throw. It could slip. I could twist and hurt something in my knee. I could twist an ankle. I could break my ankle. All that kind of stuff is very easy to do out there on the course. I'm getting a little older now. I'm in my mid-30s. It could definitely happen, and I don't have a loud voice, and plus, if you yell for a couple of minutes for help, you could blow out your voice and have no ability to communicate beyond that. A whistle is definitely nice to have if you're playing any kind of rugged, wooded courses or in areas where there's not a lot of people around, because, you know, if you're playing all in city parks and there's somebody on a swing set, you know, 20 feet away, it's not going to be that big of a problem. But for me, I play courses like Stub Stewart State Park and rugged courses like that where I could easily twist an ankle or something, and I want to have the ability to make a loud noise that a park ranger or somebody could hear and get help. So you never know when an emergency might strike, and it's always better to be prepared than not. I also wanted to show you guys a whale sack. This is the one that Tina sent me all those years ago. I've used it on occasion, but I typically don't want my hands to be super dry. Just my own kind of personal preference. I'll even kind of lick my thumb sometimes. It helps me dig in my grip a little bit. But if you're one of those people who has really sweaty hands, I don't. You might really like something like this as a whale sack. If you've ever seen like a player holding one of these, kind of tossing it in their hand. I don't know if you can tell, but there's like little bits of dry dirt coming out of it basically. And what it does is just absorbs moisture on your hands, kind of like a gymnast would with chalk. Basically all it is. Really nice if you live in super humid climates, or if you have problems with your hands sweating and grip issues. Those could be really effective, and a lot of professional players use those, I will say that. So, other essential gear. Water. Gotta have water with you out there on the course. I keep these 50-50, 40-ounce insulated bottles with me at all times. I will always have at least one, depending on the bag I'm using. If my bag has 2 drink holders, I'll have both of them with me. They definitely take up some weight, but hydration is huge. It's very important, and I try to hydrate pretty heavily before the rounds as well. Sometimes I'll bring both of these and I'll drink one or most of one on the way to the course. This one will come out with me. I'll often have another water, like a bigger bottle that I'll bring with me, especially during the summer, and that will be kind of like the home base water bottle that I can refill these with if I need to, or just to make sure I have plenty of hydration out there on the course. Anything you're going to use is really fine for that, but I definitely recommend these insulated bottles. Not only do they keep your drinks cold, which is super nice, but if you play like winter golf, you can actually put hot liquids in here too, and it'll keep them hot for the whole round. So occasionally I've done like herbal tea with some honey on a winter round in a bottle. So nice. Really nice to have. Water bottles, 100% essential. Other essential gear, towels. Of course you have to have a towel to keep your disc clean, keep your disc dry. 2 of the ones I really like is the goat towel. This one is a double-sided towel, so you have a waffle pattern on this side, micro suede on this side, so you can kind of get the mud and the exterior stuff off of that, do the final kind of like polishing, final dry on this side, and it works out quite well. These are a little bit heavier than a regular towel, but totally worth the little bit of weight there. I also always love having a flight towel with me. These are really nice. Has a piece of a disc attached to it, so you can hold it in your actual throwing grip and work on your warm-up and go through your actual throwing motion with this towel. Has a little bit of a pocket in the back here which catches some air, provides some resistance as you kind of mimic your throwing form, and these are great to warm up, practice your form, and all that kind of stuff. And they're just a really solid towel that I like to have on my bag at all times. Other important things. Obviously, shoes. You don't want to be out there in flip-flops. We talked about, you know, twisting your ankle or getting hurt and stuff. A lot of that's going to be much more of an issue if you don't have proper footwear. These are what I will wear on any kind of like serious round where there's mud or there's water, or if I'm going up and down hills, they have, you know, they're dirty, but they have really firm, solid treads on them. I really like having a solid pair of basically like hiking shoes. They seem to work the best for disc golf overall. These are a little bit heavy and not the most comfortable shoes in the world, these Keens, but I do like them. The waterproof works out really well. But whatever you end up using, it's totally fine. You just don't necessarily want to be out there in like flip-flops and stuff. Occasionally I will play disc golf in my Crocs. You guys may have seen that on my Instagram, but that's not something I do unless it's like somewhere that can really handle that, you know, like a really grassy kind of park course or something. I might do that, but that's me. For the most part, you definitely want to have more substantial shoes, and if I'm playing any kind of a real round, I'm wearing something like that, or maybe running shoes or something. But yeah, you don't want to be out there in flip-flops or sandals, really. I don't think that makes a lot of sense. You want to have a nice firm footing under you to keep you from slipping and stuff, and also to have the ability to transfer your weight well and not have your shoes kind of twist and slide around on you. That's never good. Stools are also really nice. This is a tripod stool. Definitely not essential, but it's a nice thing to have. I've used these on occasion. They definitely work. I've showed you this guy before. A little tough to get it in camera. It's just a little flip open stool here, and this one's made by Coleman. They're pretty cheap. You get them on online for very inexpensive, maybe 15 bucks or 20 bucks or something. Not that big of a deal. These are solid. You guys know I'm a big dude. I can sit on this thing and it doesn't feel rickety or anything. I also really like to have this with me because I'll put this down and I'll put my bag on top of this. Keeps my plastic a little higher, a little easier to go and fish through and look through your discs, which is great. And also it'll keep your discs and your bag out of the mud. You know, if there's dirt or mud on the ground, it's really nice to be able to put your bag up on something. So that's nice. And last but not least, this is definitely a thing that's nice to have, not necessarily essential, but could be very helpful depending on the course that you play and all that kind of stuff. This is the M Retriever. I have a full review on this product if you want to check out more about it, but it basically is an extendable pole. It reaches out super far, and then you can, I usually use it this way, pull the disc into this cradle and pull it out of the water. Maybe just like a really steep, muddy embankment you don't want to traverse. This thing could be absolutely life-saving, especially if you play courses that have a lot of water or kind of tricky areas you don't want to climb down into. You can reach down in there, scoop it out with this. Full review of this on my channel if you're interested. My memory card is about to die. Let me know if you guys have any questions about this, if there's any piece of gear that I have selected to mention here that you think is essential or something you always have with you. Leave that in the comments below so that everybody can kind of reference that and see if there's anything else they need to put in their bag. But these are the things that I like to have with me. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you to everybody who supports me, and especially those who support me on Patreon. I really appreciate you guys. I will talk to you all very soon. Cheers.